Good afternoon. I've just returned from a beautiful bike ride to Wexford Lavender Farm. The lavender's not quite in bloom yet, so rather than having swathes of purple fields, there you can see all the lavender bushes ready to just have those blossoms pop open and create that sea of purple. So I'll go back in a couple of weeks. I've popped images up on my Facebook page, but I shall make a nice video of the actual purple fields when they're all in blossom. But it was a nice, I think it's 20-kilometre cycle ride, and I'm rather windblown. The wind, I was against the whole way there, and I think it pushed me half the way back. But here I am now, and I thought I'd come on here today to share with you a couple of items that I ordered and that I actually like. I have had a look through them, so I'll be able to give you a little bit more knowledge than just, look, it's open and it's this is what it is. The first one's a book, and it is Runelore, okay? It's by Edward Thorson, okay? And he also wrote the best-selling book Futhark. So let's see what the blurb says on the back. During the magical revival of an ancient language of the gods, from the wisdom of the pre-Viking era to modern-day runic poems, Runelore combines folklore, linguistics, and the history of religion and magic to create a unique approach to reading, casting, and deciphering the hidden teachings of the runes. From Edward Thorson, author of the best-selling Futhark, Runelore is another indispensable text for anybody seeking to broaden their understanding of the runes and the runic alphabet. In Runelore, you will learn about rune magic and divination, runic codes, runic numerology, the Odinic pantheon, explanations of the runic mysteries, divine patterns, Jungian symbolism, and runic psychology. Originally written as a supplement to the practical material in Futhark, this book takes readers on an esoteric journey through runic consciousness. An invaluable addition to any magical practitioner's library, the extensive scholarship of the history and greater role of runes in our own magical awareness will appeal to students of the occult, history, and folklore alike. So on the front, the magic, history, and hidden codes of the runes. So when we look into the book, we have a contents page. This was first published in 1987. So it is old, but it's so informative. Of course, you've got in your contents page, just before you get into the meaty part of the book, you've got things, you know, about the cover, list of abbreviations, acknowledgements, preface and introduction, etc. But then part one of the book is historical lore, and in that you start with the elder runes from the beginning to 800 CE. Then you have in chapter 2 Viking Age runes, and that's from 800 to 1100 CE. In chapter 3 you look at medieval runes, and that is 1100 to 1600 CE. So this is really giving you a nice deep history. In chapter 5, in chapter 4, it's modern runic revival, and the modern runic revival it sort of dates from 1600 to 1945. So that covers a great, huge period of time. In chapter 5, contemporary runic revival, which is 1945 to the present day. Historical rune magic and divination is chapter 6, and runic codes and runic poems are chapters 7 and 8. In part 2, you look at hidden lore. So in chapter 9, inner rune lore. Chapter 10, esoteric cosmology. Chapter 11 is runic numerology. Chapter 12, runic psychology. And chapter 13, Runelore of the gods. 1 minute. Sorry, my dog decided to close himself in my bedroom. You can hear all the others playing outside, so he's gone to join them. After Runelore of the gods, you then have a appendices, glossary, bibliography, index, and a little bit about the author. So this book is dedicated, this book is given to all those who strive toward the runes. So I think this is something that if you are studying runes like myself, it's quite meaty. It gives you a great history, but it also gives you, how you can use it in your own practice, which I think is lovely. It is a deep book. The print, I will give you a heads up now, is very small, okay? However, that can be overcome with a magnifying glass if you need to. But other than that, it's you just have to bear with it because it is a small print. If you can get it on Kindle, then obviously you can enlarge your print. But I do much prefer having a book. I'm really looking forward to actually getting stuck into this because I do feel having this alongside my runes as I progress through my understanding and learning of runes, I do think that this is going to be a godsend. I don't have the book for Thark, but I might actually order that one. That's the first one, and this was made to accompany that. So that's what I will have a look at. The second thing that I want to share with you is a deck that I just happened to stumble across, and I'm just trying to think, how did I stumble across it? It was a while ago anyway, and I think it was just online, and I thought, oh, I quite like the look of that. It's not the usual deck that I would go for because I'm very much into my tarot, but recently this will be the second sort of non-tarot deck that I've bought in the last 6 months, and I think I quite like it. This is called Heavenly Bodies Astrology, the Deck and Little Guidebook, and it's by Lily Ashwell. I love the colours, it's just so gentle. And we'll have a look. This little sleeve is removable, so we'll see what it says on the sleeve. Use the deck and little guidebook in 3 ways. First way is learn. Study the beautiful cards and deepen your understanding of astrology. Second way is to decode. Become your own astrologer by creating visual spreads of any astrological placement from your cosmic blueprint. Visit lilyashwell.com for a copy of your birth chart. To what's happening in the skies right now. Hello, full moon seekers. And then the third part is to communicate. Use the deck as an oracle to communicate with angels and spirit guides. This set is the large keepsake box. There's the hand illustrated 144-page guidebook and 51 soulful hand illustrated astrology cards in a 2-piece box. So this is more of a keepsake box because your deck comes in another box inside it, so that you can keep it on your shelf with your other decks, I suppose. So that's the sleeve. It comes off this lovely box. It says a keepsake box. These would be nice for keeping your crystals and that. I think it's just, the colours are just so beautiful. It's nice and solid. Okay, and it has the magnetic opening. And when it opens up, this is what you get, okay, when you open it up. And here it says, heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. We then have a nice strong ribbon that lifts the book out, and the book is a nice hardcover book. It's smaller, but larger than your usual book that you get in with an oracle set or a tarot set. And it's really, really pretty. It's very well laid out. They're sort of slightly glossed pages, not glossy pages, more sheen. Okay. People travel to wonder at the height of mountains, at the huge waves of the seas, at the long courses of the rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and yet they pass by themselves without wondering. And that was said by Saint Augustine in the year 400. And this was created by Lily Ashwell for her Nana Shirley, and it's in a small print there, for her Nana Shirley, if you look there. This book, I read the introduction, and I have to say it grabbed me. I've read, so far I've read up to the start of the deck, okay? So this is everything that I've read so far, and it is really informative, surprisingly informative for such a small book. You know, you have your introduction, which is a note from Lily. Then you have about astrology. So under about astrology, it's understanding astrology, the planets, the signs of the zodiac, the houses, the major aspects, the natural zodiac, and the nodes of destiny. And then we get to working with the deck, which is the page 30. I'm on here. All right, up to there. Right, working with the deck is to learn how to use how to learn using the deck. 2, to decode any full moon with the deck. And 3, to communicate what to ask the deck, single card spread, a card a day, 3 card spread, soul growth spread, and 4 card spread, and a third eye spread. So and then on page 40, that's when it goes into the energy of the deck. So you've got the planets, the energy of the deck, the signs of the zodiac, the energy of the deck, which are the houses, the energy of the deck, the major aspects, the energy of the deck, the natural zodiac, and the energies of the deck, the nodes of destiny. And then there's a couple of pages at the back that you can keep notes. Okay, the images of the cards are all in colour. So there you go, you have your image and it tells you all about the card. There's keywords, experience, the omen of the card, etc. And it's just so informative and full, and it really is an interesting read. And it's, you know, it's unusual for me to have even started a book when showing you a deck. I wouldn't have really got into the book, but for some reason this just called to me, and I have to say the introduction was really nice to read. Then inside the box again we have this 2-part box in which we find the deck. I see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, told infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. And that was said by William Blake in 1803. So we've got beautiful colours on the front again. And I live my life in growing orbits which move over the things of this world. Perhaps I can never achieve the last, but that will be my attempt. I am circling around God, around the ancient tower. I have been circling for 1,000 years, and I still don't know if I am a falcon or a storm or a great song. And that was Rainer Maria Rilke in 1899. I love all these little sayings. And in the bottom of the box, heaven through earth and spirit through body. The little messages everywhere. Now, here we go. The cardstock, it is cardboardy. It's not too bad. It's very nice, very usable, but they're lovely and clear. You know, there is a feeling of peacefulness from the deck, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to move this bigger keepsake box out of the way, move this 2-part box out of the way, and the book, and we'll get on looking at the cards. So the first cards, let's have a look. The first part, we to just look at the contents page again. We have planets, signs of the zodiac, the houses, major aspects, neutral aspects, and nodes of destiny. So we have the planet and the symbol for the planet. So we have the sun, and there we have the symbol. Okay, that is beautiful. The moon, what words does it say? So I didn't read the words. The sun, self-express and embody truth. Okay. The moon, satisfy emotional needs and nurture yourself and others. And of course this is, you know, you have these keywords on the card, but the book will go that much deeper in giving you the story of the card. Okay. Then we have Mercury, think, learn, network and communicate. I do love butterflies. Venus. Give and receive love. Find value. See beauty. Mars. Move forward and defend yourself. Saturn. Feel restricted. Experience struggle. Learn hard work and patience. And you can actually get that feeling from the card because it's very dark. But even if you look at the darkness of the card, you can see in there the wise owl, that, you know, Saturn is, you know, sort of glowing through almost like a moon. And we've got these here, this symbol here. I'm sure that's a symbol. Yes, it is. I'm just trying to see what it is. That'll explain to me in the book. But to me, that you might feel that you're in this sort of struggle with this card, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, that you will come through this darkness by hard work, you know. Jupiter, grow and expand. And what I like about this is that you're learning the symbols of the planets as you're going through. Uranus is radically change. And, you know, if you look at the cards, there's something in the background, isn't there? You know, you could, it's like you could step into it. If you focus on it, everybody would see something different. If you look at the lines here, if you were to meditate on that, those fine lines could send in sort of subliminal images, etc., that mean something to you, that you can put into your card meaning. Neptune, dream and transcend. You hear my two dogs? They're having a bit of a fight, and I bet you £1 to a pinch of salt they're on my bed and throwing my pillows everywhere, because that's what they usually do. Pluto, transform. Look at that. We have the skull and the butterfly. And that just, although it's obviously it's not, you know, it's not, it reminds me of the death head moth, because when I see that, it always reminds me of a horror film I saw, one of the Silence of the Lambs type of thing. Chiron, hurt and heal. Light and dark, night and day. Independence, bravery and passion is Aries. We're looking at the astrological signs now. Trust, patience and sensuality is Taurus. Curiosity, intellect and networking is Gemini. Isn't that just beautiful? Nurture, comfort and protection is Cancer. Self-confidence, loyalty and creativity is Leo. Brave heart as well. Brave heart. Integrity, reverence and service is Virgo. Consideration, fairness and harmony is Libra. We like balance, us Librans. Intensity, exposing, purging and renewing is Scorpio. Let's see, sort of like a bridge distance and the sunset or sunrise. What in the name of God was that? The dogs are up to something. I knew what the whistling sound was, but I was absolutely spot on about Sally and Sammy. They have tossed my pillows asunder and I just had to remake the bed. I don't know. They're mad. Optimism, exploration and freedom is Sagittarius. Ambition, realism and methodical steps is Capricorn. I like that one. I like the drawings. I like the way these have the sort of impression that they're pencil sketches, which I think they would be, with either pastel or watercolours sort of giving them, you know, used in the background to create them, the pencil drawings to sort of pop out, makes them quite vivid. Aquarius is originality, philanthropy and progressive imaginings. Progressive imaginings. Intimacy, intuition and compassion is Pisces. Individuality, self-image and approach to life is House 1. So we've gone from, looked at the planets, we've looked at the astrological symbols, and now we're looking at the houses. So House 1, if you think of the wheel, I think what's it got? Is it 12 houses? 12 houses, I think it is. Individuality, self-image and approach to life. It's going to be interesting when you draw the sort of wheel and you put in the houses and have the meaning, and you find where your symbol comes, which house your astrological symbol comes under, and then look at what planet comes under each of those houses, and you have near enough a full description of your personality and your traits. So that's going to be an interesting task to do. I might do that as a YouTube video, see how I get on. I might practice it first. So house number 2, physical security, possessions, material values and self-worth. They really are pretty drawings. House 3 is early learning, childhood, relations, the rational mind and communication. House 4, culture and family roots, home, peace and comfort. If any of you had seen my series I did on the Ancestral Tarot, you'll see there was parts of that where we looked at the different houses, and I did do a drawing in that. So it'll be interesting now to see. I might use that one, and no, a fresh one would be better, wouldn't it? But the example's there on one of the videos there. So house 5 is passion, play, children, confidence and creativity. House 6, establishing a foundation, health, daily life and practical details. House 7 is profound relationships, intimacy and romantic partnerships. House 8, transformation, karma, facing fears and legacies. House 9 is spiritual growth. That's beautiful. House 10 is structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments and career. I do love this image. Look at that beautiful owl. Isn't it stunning? House 11, friends, like-minded groups and humanitarian beliefs. House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial services and healing. Now we're looking at conjunction. So these sort of placements, aren't they? Let's just have a quick read. We'll refer back to the book, what title they come under again. So we've looked at planets, signs, the zodiac, houses. Now these are the major aspects, okay? Then we have the natural zodiac, and then we have nodes of destiny. So for major aspects we have conjunction. Okay. I like the symbolism there. A union, merging and coming together. Opposition, imbalance, a point of tension, a power struggle. There we go. Colours are beautiful. Trine, angelic, support, harmony and perfect flow. So trine. Trine, if I'm not mistaken, refers to 3. And if we look, we have the triangle there. The 3 corners there. And if you look at the circle, we're looking at 1/3 of the circle there, 120 degrees. So it's 1/3. Square, a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. So our square, we have 90-degree corners. So we have the symbol in this corner here of the square. There it shows that it's a 90-degree corner and tells us about it. Okay. Sextile, a combination of tension flow, potential and rewarding situations. So those are the major aspects. Now we're going to look at the natural zodiac. So we have Earth. There are a number of things to read in this, because what they've done here, so we've got earth, air, fire and water, which are our 4 elements. So in here we've got Earth, the symbol for Earth, and the astrological symbols that come under the auspices of Earth, of that element. And it's persistence, patience and practicality. Now we have air, open-mindedness, objectivity and learning. And again, there are our astrological symbols on that card. Fire, confidence, optimism, passion and bravery. And water, spirituality, emotion, intuition and compassion. Sam, don't do that. He has a habit lately of scratching the furniture. Never used to. Still under the energies of the natural zodiac, we now come to yin. And intuitive, trust, patience, spirituality and receptivity. And we can see here which astrological symbols come under this aspect. Yang, proactivity, expression, doing, forward motion. So I must be yin, am I? No. Oh, I'm yang. There I am there. There we go. Then we have Cardinal. So instigation, bravery and a pioneering spirit. I'm on that one too. Then we have Fixed, stability, persistence, loyalty and dependent. Mutable, surrender, fluidity and welcoming change. And then we have the energetics of the deck of the nodes of destiny. So there's the North node, which is destined to have. And then there's the South node, which is destined to release. So even just in the cards alone, we have symbols that if you've ever looked at one of these astrological circles or wheels, and you've seen it split into houses, then you have seen sort of astrological symbols on there for your sign. And, you know, then you see planets, and then you see the nodes. And I've also, they always remind me of, you know, a hook and eye. And it's like, and I'm thinking, what does that mean? Well, straight away, we now know that they are the nodes of destiny. And as we go along with this deck, being able to make a reference to everything in the book is really, really helpful. And I love the fact, like I said, that there are a page at the back that you can take your own notes. So this, like I say, is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology, the little guidebook and the deck, and it's by Lily Ashwell. And do you know, I think this is going to give me something different to look at. So that I'm not just looking at tarot decks or oracle decks, but looking at something that will add to those decks. It's a completely matte finish. Okay, we'll see what it's like to shuffle. Hand over hand, shuffles very nicely. Whoops, oh, got one turned over. Saturn. Feel restricted? Anybody feel restricted? And let's see what it's like to riffle. Now, I will tell you my deck was a little bit twisted when it arrived. No, I'll show you what I mean by when I say twisted. Riffles nicely, and I've just dropped the deck, but it does riffle very nicely. Dropped it into my lap because I'm a bit of a clumsy devil. I didn't drop any on the floor, did I? No, I didn't. So we'll just have a look and see what it's like to riffle shuffle. Yeah, you can riffle shuffle it. And what I did when I got my deck, it wouldn't sit flat, okay? It wasn't sitting flat on the deck. You can still see it's a little bit lifted there. The deck was slightly twisted like that. So all I did was keep it in its box for a little while. First of all, I sat it, I bent it back, but I sat heavy books on top of it and put it back in its box for a little while, and it has straightened itself out. Could do with a little bit more of a straightening, but it's not something that's going to bother me. Would I recommend this? If you want to sort of venture down a different path and just add something more to your own learning and learn more about astrology, which you know, when you're sort of into tarot and into divination, into any form of cardmancy, it's sort of really nice to find something new and different that you can add to your collection, add to your own well of knowledge, and something you can draw on, and it in fact helps you see more in your tarot decks. You might be looking at your tarot thinking, oh, where have I seen that symbol before? What does that mean? And you don't you'll end up, you don't have to question that, because straight up you'll see either a rune symbol, looking at runes, you'll see an astrological symbol, a planet, a symbol for a planet, for the elements, for anything, and then you can look at it and go, and it gives you that knowledge and wisdom to be able to draw on your knowledge of astrology, on your knowledge of runes, to add to your already great understanding and great interpretation of tarot. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I really have enjoyed sharing it with you. I do enjoy, you know, when I find new stuff and sharing it with you all. I'm waiting on 2 Kickstarter decks to arrive, and then that, I think, is my spending on any divinatory, I'll get my word right in a minute, tools for this year. I have such a mad collection of so many different things that I need to sort of maybe give it a little bit of rest and explore what I have. I'm saying that now, but the chances are in a month's time, go, right, let me just show you this. Excuse me. I've had this chest infection, it's driving me insane. But yeah, when the 2 Kickstarters arrive, I believe one is supposed to be arriving this month sometime, and I'm not sure when the other one is supposed to arrive. It was supposed to be, I think it might be August sometime, but they are the Alleyman. I know in America lots of people have received the Alleyman Tarot, but here in the EU we sort of seem to have been a little bit forgotten, so hopefully you know, we'll be sort of remembered soon, and our decks hopefully arriving by the end of May. And so I'll do a nice walkthrough of that when it arrives. I envisage that being a really interesting deck. I'm actually quite excited about its arrival. And then there is the Baroque Tarot that I've ordered. And I tell you, I'm actually looking forward to getting that deck and comparing it with two decks that I have. I have the Victorian Romantic, but I also have a deck created by I've forgotten her name. How the heck can I forget her name? Danny Mystic. I have a deck created by Danny Mystic that has the same sort of vibes as sort of the Baroque and the Victorian Romantic, and it's going to be very, very interesting doing a comparison of the three and seeing how they can either work together or against each other. You know, like human beings, decks can sort of either gel or repel, you know, and you know, it's going to be quite interesting. So folks, over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be making different videos, and one of them well, I won't make a hard and fast promise, because I get stuck into a project and I think, oh my god, I was supposed to film that, and I think, leave it now, it's too late. But I'm actually getting a real proper greenhouse, and as you know from other videos, I'm into my foraging, I'm into my plants, but I have been growing herbs and things, and they're going to be growing in my new greenhouse when it is built. So it's arriving. How soon after its arrival it will be erected and in full use is anybody's guess, because I will need the help of my husband and son. Now they will help, but it'll be, oh yeah, we'll do that in a minute, and I might be calling on friends and neighbours, so beware any of my friends and neighbours watching this. So take care everybody, I hope you're having a lovely day. I've had a great day. The wind has blown so many cobwebs away after that bike ride, it's unreal. And I'm now going to go and make myself a nice herbal tea and sit down, relax and read for a little while. Have I got time to read? Just realised I might have to start cooking the tea actually for when they get home. Oh well, I'll get that time to read later, maybe with a glass of wine. Take care. See you soon. Bye.